Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Honest Sales Agent podcast. Can you believe it already? Episode 4.
Wow.
Literally, the idea was, Christmas time, launched in February, episode 4, and Nelly said, it's only just a dream.
I was thinking I would get away with 1, and here I am back on my 3rd.
I know. So how are you feeling about the whole fact that I've dragged you through this whole, let's do podcasts, let's do videos for the business, because you were so adamant against it as well, Tracy, weren't you?
It's kind of fun, isn't it? I think
It is, isn't it?
I think it's kind of fun to show the funny side of aspects of what we talk about as well.
Yeah, because literally some people just look and think, just estate agents and this, that and the other. And I think everyone that's dealt with an estate agent previously lives in this whole corporate world of, they've got nothing about them, no personality and stuff. But actually, if you look at some of the other things that we do, like in some of the videos and the way we do things a little bit differently sometimes, it's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think our black and white approach comes across, and it's kind of humorous.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. So, today, we're going to have a little battle.
Bring on the battle.
The battle. So today is obviously just going to be me and Tracy. We've got no guest. It's battling. We're going to have old
Thanks.
versus new.
Why do you have to tell me I'm old every day?
Oh, dear. I couldn't resist that one. I rehearsed that last night as well in my head. No, I didn't really. So we're going to go with the whole looking at second-hand properties versus new build. Obviously, you come from the second-hand market side of things. That's your background. I come from the new build side of things. And when I don't know what it was like for you when you were in estate agency previously, but from my side of things, new builds always used to say, it's not the other competitors out there, this, that, and the other, that's our demographic or our target audience and things. Our main competitor is the second-hand market.
Of course, they're all homes.
How exactly? But when you're in Bridgefords and things like that, how did you find the market when a new build estate would pop up near you guys? Did you find a lot more people going there versus?
No, because at the end of the day, some people like new builds, some people like older homes. You're always going to get that, really. When a new build estate pops up, that does create people to move, which means then there's more sales for older properties.
Yeah.
I think it's horses for courses, isn't it? I think if you're a first-time buyer and it's very easy, etc., maybe a new build's the right way. If you've got a bigger family, you need more space, maybe an older property. But yeah, I've never seen any difference in terms of how it affects a normal agent.
Yeah.
I mean, we sell both, don't we?
We do sell both, yeah. Yeah, we obviously get...
And I quite like both. I make a new build look older with character. If I'm in an older property, I try and make it more modern. It's funny, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you put like touches of a new build onto an older property sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when you've got the new property,
try and make it look
you try and make it look old. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, 10 years down the line, once you've bought that new build, if you've lived in it for 10 years from new, it's old anyway, essentially, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah, totally.
They don't look at it as a new property then, do they?
No. Are you glad you're not selling new builds now? Well, you are selling new builds, but are you glad you're not doing it all the time? Full time?
I'm glad I'm not doing it all the time. So, obviously, it was drilled to me, like, don't let anyone go secondhand, and things like that, to go to an estate agent. And this is what we need to be looking at, pound per square foot, this, that, the other, promote the SPE energy efficiency rating and all those kind of things when you're in a new build. And promote that they've got an HBC warranty, the fact that it's all new, it's all shiny, they don't have to worry if they've got young kids, and you sell it down that route, and you do go down that avenue.
Yeah.
But then you look at it sometimes and you go, now I'm doing it, what we're doing, it's just a case of you look at it and go, as good as that is, I'd still rather be in a Victorian house.
You love older houses, don't you?
I do absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we know, I've gone for now a new build.
Yeah.
That I bought 5 years ago. Brand new.
Beautiful older property.
Box fresh. And my house was lovely.
Yeah, it was. Lovely.
I've just sold it. And I've gone to a Victorian townhouse, which is massive, with a huge garden, which is one of the main things from when you're buying an older property. You get bigger space around you as well, more character.
And I've gone from a massive, beautiful barn to a tiny new build.
Lives have completely swapped.
I know.
Lives have just completely swapped.
It's madness, isn't it?
It really is, isn't it?
I think it's your stage of life and where you're at and all sorts of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't find an older property in Nantwich, so I love the ease of it for a bit, not forever, for a bit.
So, because you've gone from an older property to a new property, would you go back to an older property if you could find the right one?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you tend to get a bigger house, more spacious rooms, probably a bigger garden. You can do stuff with it, can't you? Whereas you're quite restricted in terms of what you can do with a new build. So, you can have a lovely interior and you can maybe put on an orangery. You can maybe convert your garage, do lots of wall panelling, but that's pretty much it. So there's much more scope, isn't there, with older properties? I think some people just love that. And let's face it, when we go into an older house, we're like, right, you could knock that wall down, you could do this, you could put on a massive extension, you can fit an ensuite there. You just, it's just quite, you can make it very bespoke for you, can't you?
Yeah, you can. See, so would you say you're more pro second-hand market versus you are new build? So even though you've bought a new build, would you say you're more still pro buying a second-hand property over a new build?
Yeah, and I like selling second-hand properties.
Why?
It's just bit more, I don't know, actually. That's an interesting question. It's a bit more interesting, I think.
Do you think, because when I was selling new build, most of it was off plan. So when you bought your house from me, that one, unfortunately, was a fall through, wasn't it? And then you got to sort of see it and there was a show home there, so you sort of knew the layout. But when somebody's buying a new build, they predominantly buy it off plan, so they don't necessarily, some people with no vision can't really see the finished product of what they're getting. And then sometimes I think they see it and go, God, I wish I'd gone for an older property. Whereas with the second hand, you get what you see.
I think a new build is safe in some ways, isn't it? Because, you know it's going to have a good EPC. You've got a warranty.
No structural issues.
But I think the problem is sometimes it can be horrendous snagging. You can have a tiny garden. You can end up with no extras, especially if they've got a tight salesperson in the office. Not that you were like that. You were brilliant, Simon. Hence we're friends. But, it's kind of
like... And they can be
overlooked
on a new build estate as well.
Very overlooked. And I think the main thing is you fall in love with the show home and then it costs maybe 40 grand more. Maybe I'm totally over-exaggerating. Put all the extras to make it look like the show home. And then if you don't have the money to do that, you get in and it can be a very disappointing box. Yeah. Because some of the houses that we see, like some, maybe for first-time buyers, they've bought this house, they've stretched themselves, and then we're sort of selling it 5 years on, and they haven't really been able to do much with it, and it still looks a bit boxy. Yeah. So I think their appeal is if you can afford to really do a great job with the landscaping. For me, landscaping's probably about 10 grand. You need to treat it like an outdoor room. And then you do need to add character. And I think if you don't have the money to do that, it can be difficult and it can be a bit boxy. Whereas an older property, they can have... I mean, not all properties are beautiful with parquet floors and bay windows and all the rest of it, but I think you can just do more with them.
Okay. Do you think... So go back to new build versus old then. Pound per square foot and things versus how much you'd pay for a new build versus second hand. Do you think you're getting a lot more for your money with a second hand product than a new product? Is that because of how you just mentioned about the show home and extras and doing what you'd need to it? Or is that because of you getting a bigger property in a better area, maybe not necessarily a better area, but more space around you, for example?
I think we both know that new builds are more expensive per square foot. And that's, without possibly extras, etc. I think if you're buying an older property, you've got more space around you, more space in the house. I just think that works a lot better.
Yeah. What do you reckon, in the reality of the world with solicitors and mortgages and things like that, is more stress related to purchase versus non-stress related?
So this is a very interesting question, with solicitors being the bane of our lives. And actually, it's a very good question, because when you buy a new build, you have to have your house sold, and you have to pay to reserve a plot, and you have to pretty much exchange within 28 days.
Yeah, and the reservation fee that you put down is non-refundable most of the time.
So the timing of that becomes an absolute nightmare for any chain. So it is very difficult, actually, to buy a new build.
Unless they've got like what they call stock units, which are ready to go, which not many builders have.
No,
that's the thing.
You could literally be reserving something for isn't going to be built for 9 months, and then how do you sell your house and keep a buyer waiting? It's not possible.
No, you could end up going into rented or Airbnb, costing you more money. So then it's the stress, and if you've got kids on top of that as well, or there's a job move, or you're relocating, for example, that's a lot.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because we know we've got people who want a new build and they go, we can't move for 6 months. We're like, blimey, how are we going to get people to wait?
Yeah.
It's impossible. So it doesn't always work. You're very fortuitous if you drop by on a stock plot like I did. That was ready. Very, very difficult. It can be very challenging to navigate that.
You think about, because we've had a couple of people recently who've made offers on properties and they've been accepted, and then the vendor has not yet found anywhere to live. And 2 weeks down the line, you're like, have you found anywhere to live yet? Because we've given you a little bit of a grace period to try and find somewhere to live. And they go, no. And then the buyer's then stressing at us, and we're like, that's only 2 weeks. And the transactions can still go fairly quickly from that point to completion, can't it? Because it's like 3 months. Yeah. Whereas with a new build, you still could be waiting another 6 months or so.
I think the thing is, once you've decided to buy a house, you want to be in. And then it's already a very frustrating process with minimum 3 months to get in with the conveyancing process. So if you then keep prolonging that, you've got a very, very high chance to lose your buyer.
Yeah.
They will go and buy a better option, a quicker option. So it's tricky.
The only beauty about buying a new build versus a second hand is the fact of, if the person you're buying from is purchasing on, then there's always that risk of the chain falling through on the onward purchase. Whereas with a new build, the chain stops at the new build.
Yeah.
That is the only way. But equally, your house could be delayed however many times for completion before you actually get in there. Whereas you could sell, resell, and still be in a house before that new house is complete, is built complete.
I mean, I think we'll find I had this very scenario, Simon. Didn't you delay my house by about a month?
We did, because yours fell through.
Yeah, but wasn't it? Oh, yeah. But I remember it was possibly because of the delay. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think there was a delay with something, but then wasn't it because yours... Was it fallen through or whatever it was? Because
I don't know.
You had double the stamp, didn't you, in the end? And then you had to claim it back.
Yeah, I don't know. But I absolutely know that the timings are very, very tricky.
Yeah.
But then, it's kind of, you could say that for any process, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You've got to get a full chain, and you've got to get a full chain together, regardless of whether they're new or old. Because, like we just said, buyers are impatient and they will go and find something else.
Yeah. But you also need a great solicitor along the way. If you don't get a good solicitor along the way, that stress impact of any transaction, whether you're buying old or new,
yes,
it's very difficult to manage, isn't it?
I know. So we did our best, didn't we, to get 2 good solicitors for people. But if they don't use them, and obviously if the buyer's got some online agent, you can be in for a very long, stressful road.
Yeah.
As we know, we've got a few vendors at the minute who are going grey.
So am I. That's why I've had to shave my hair.
I'm going grey. Yes, it can be very, very tough, can't it?
Yeah.
So,
And just for the record, I didn't shave my hair because I was going grey.
yeah,
There's a hairdressing malfunction.
your hairdresser no longer likes you.
Yeah. She's sacked. She's actually not sacked. She's all right. But yeah, so, and then in terms of going from there, better value for money then, throughout the whole process as a whole, do you still think it's better buying old versus new? Because if you're working with like some sort of budget, for like let's talk first time buyer, for example. If you've got £250,000 budget, would you go out and would you rather buy second hand, or would you rather buy new?
I mean, first time buyers, they like things shiny and new.
Yeah.
And they probably don't want any work because they haven't probably got any money to do any work.
Because it's all about cash flow.
Absolutely. So once you've got your mortgage sorted, you probably haven't got a lot of money to do stuff up. So then you're going to have to choose between a brand new shiny house that, you know, may not have upgrades or character or whatever, versus somewhere either nice but in a poorer location, or needs work.
Yeah.
So
Or has the risk of needing work in the next 2 to 3 years, depending on what your
that's it.
goal is.
You're then talking about a little 3-bed semi versus a bigger 3-bed semi, probably in our location. And to get something of that price, you would have to go to a worse area. So it really is about sort of weighing up the options in terms of whether you want more space and you fancy doing a bit of work, or, you know, you've got no skills to do anything, which is my case.
Yeah. Hire everyone in to just put shelf up.
You know, you might be better to go new.
Okay. I think with 250, if it was me now, 250 grand budget,
You'd go old, wouldn't you?
I would go old.
Yeah.
And I would rather, I think, because if I had a £250,000 budget, and obviously we're just talking hypothetical here with that budget. If I had a £250,000 budget and I've got the choice of having an older property versus a newer property for, let's say, 20 grand less, I'd probably still go down the older route. And the reason for my thinking would be, well, I see myself still being here in 5 years' time. So actually the 20 grand difference versus what will be inflation over a period of time as well, versus the work that I want to do to it. Plus, then on top of that, if you look at the market and the way it is now, there's more and more people wanting houses with character. And if they don't buy a house with character, they add character to the house.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you?
Well, like I say, it depends what kind of market you're in. Like an investor, they would be better to buy something new
Yeah.
versus old, because they're going to have to spend a lot of money renovating that property to get a good, a good rent. However, the yield, the amount of rent they can get for the property may not warrant the yield that they need. So that's why a lot of investors, they buy older properties. But the problem is they do require a lot of work. Like
Maintenance.
if you're going into terraces, etc., you don't know whether you're going to encounter damp issues or roof issues or whatever issues. So it depends on the market, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously the person that's buying it as well.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of people that obviously have surveys done on second hands as well, don't we?
Yeah. And then your heart stops when they come back and the surveyor said it's falling down, and it's really not. They're just covering their ass, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got to show that they've done something for the money that you've paid them.
£100 report which says it's falling down, which is a load of nonsense.
And then you get somebody around to look at the work and you go, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's been nothing wrong with it. The sellers live there for 10, 15 years or whatever. It's never caused them an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
But someone raised it because they need to make it look like they've done something for the money.
I mean, we've got one at the minute, haven't we? Like, the property's 6 years old and the surveyor's made it look like the floors are damp, which is just nonsense. And it's even under warranty.
Yeah.
But yeah, this tricky when you come down to survey. It's really tricky.
Yeah, it does.
helps that we can navigate people through them, doesn't it? 15 years of reading these 100-page reports, I can speed read them in about 3 minutes.
I was going to say, you've probably had to learn to do that with your ADHD as well. There's 100, I'd look at that and go, 100 pages now, I'll read page 1 and see what comes out.
I'll literally go to the summary section and then look what's read. Discard anything electrical or gas because they know nothing about it, and then look at the photos and go, okay, this house is fine. What are they on about?
It's like a book. I look at the front page and read the back just to see what's happened in it. Yeah.
Totally.
Perfect. Yeah.
Either that or put it into chat and then say, is this house falling down or not?
Yeah. Should we be worried at this point? And how much will this work cost?
And that's another good thing, isn't it? If there is work to be done, we kind of give people an idea, don't we, of a realistic price rather than the surveyor says it's going to cost 20 grand to do the roof. It's not. And we know people, don't we, for everything, so we can quickly get a real handle on costs.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a good thing, because if you look at one of our clients that bought a new build, recently we went out for lunch with him, didn't we, the other week?
We did.
So he bought a new build, sold his house, bought another new build, and then we introduced him to, 5 landscapers, I think it was?
Yep.
And 2 of them worked as new build contractors, and then the other 3, were just landscapers, weren't they? So the fact that we've got different people in different areas that can be like, I've worked with this company, I've done this, I've done that, I know new build, I know how this works and that works, I know how a log burner works in an older property, for example. This is what you need to do. Chimney needs repointing. It's not going to fall down on your head in the middle of the night.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like when I just sold a rental property, and the survey came back. I needed firewall in the loft. I needed leading around the chimney, bits and bobs. But again, I know somebody very handy, and it was done within a week. And it's having those people that you can trust that they're not going to overcharge you, and you can trust they're going to turn up, because many people don't, do they?
No.
Let you down.
The amount of people that let you down nowadays.
I think it's a bit of a minefield if you don't know anybody and your survey comes back and you're like, wow, that could cost a lot of money, and actually we don't know anyone. So, and who knows whether they're charging us too much money. So I'm really pleased that we've got those bank of people, Simon, to help people out.
Yeah. I think it helps a lot more as well when people are relocating.
Yeah.
Because when they're relocating to there and they don't have a clue about anyone in the area and they don't know who to trust, because let's be honest, who do you trust nowadays? I'm not just saying necessarily in our industry. I'm talking every person on the planet. Like, trust is a massive thing, isn't it, to gain and to achieve, hence the Honest Sales Agent podcast.
Absolutely. Very honest. I've had a lot of comments, lately about we really appreciate your honesty. And I'm like, me and Simon, it's absolutely imperative. That's like, number one, integrity and honesty.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's very unusual. Like, if we ask you questions and we expect to lie and you don't lie. Well, I know.
But there's no point, because it'll only backfire on us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Learned that the hard way in my personal life.
And, there's a long story.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and I suppose this is probably why we've done this more than anything else, was to show people what we're like, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And if there are issues with the property, you better to actually discuss them and discuss them in detail so that people understand the implications and the costs, etc. So that if you get a bit further down the line, they don't come back and say, well, you didn't tell us.
Yeah.
So, big red flag can be avoided by a sensible discussion.
Yeah.
So talking of new versus old, I recently, went into a very dated bungalow and redesigned their kitchen to look very shiny and new in about 1 minute flat.
You did,
With my favourite friend, Chat.
When they couldn't find the kitchen.
So yeah, I love that. I've kind of gone into a few places now and said, I'll just take a little picture of the room, and then a couple of minutes later, I've redesigned the room for them.
But you did it with the bungalow the other day, didn't you? Because I seen it come through on the WhatsApp group.
Did it with the bungalow. Did it with the little apartment.
Little apartment.
The coach house.
Oh yeah.
That's a really nice thing, isn't it? So you can see how you can make something older to look something new.
Yeah.
Dead clever.
Because people do struggle to see, again, going back to the new versus old, when you're buying old, you see what it is.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't see past the fixtures and fittings that are in there if you've got no imagination.
Yeah.
So you struggle to see past what's in there, like you've done with the kitchen on the bungalow, the space in the coach house. Whereas when you look at new and then you go to a show home, for example, and you see like you did, that the house that you bought was a show home and stuff, and you look at it and you go, I pretty much want everything like this. Because you sort of see it there, don't you? Think it's all nice and new and things. And
I remember saying, which bits upgrades? And you went, everything. It was like, oh. But then
this is going to be a minefield.
Then obviously you looked after, I already had the lovely kitchen and the lovely flooring and everything. Well, actually, I don't think
you didn't pick it. It was already in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was already chosen.
But yeah, back to that bungalow. That is a really good story because they're only moving because he was unwell, the husband was unwell, and they really weren't looking forward to moving at all. But the minute I did that kitchen creation for them, she literally texted me on the WhatsApp group after and said, Tracy, my husband's really looking forward to the move now. I can't thank you enough.
Didn't they do a review almost instantly as well?
Yeah.
You know, we'd only just agreed the offer, and then I'm pretty sure they just did a review straight away because of just how you were with them as you know, straight, black and white.
Yeah, literally. Like in the room, at the home on the viewing, I'd WhatsApped the buyer, the seller, and said, can they have bedroom furniture? Is this blah-de-blah, and various different things. And they had an instant answer, and they were like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, we've got real sort of communication with the seller, which is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what else about new builds then, Simon? So
do you know?
What about energy? Very important to people these days, isn't it? Cost of living.
It is now, but new builds has changed a lot. So new builds has changed a lot over the last sort of 2, maybe 3 years, because building regulations have changed. So what you'll find with some of the new builds now is the cavity wall insulation's gone thicker. It's gone from 1,000 mil to 1,250 mil, giving a better energy costs. Most of them are changing over to air source heat pump.
Yeah.
So it will give them underfloor heating to the ground floor with no radiators, which means you leave it running constantly, so your electric's always obviously going. If you like to cook with gas, you can't have gas. They have to build with electric because those regs have changed.
I love the gas hob.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I would prefer to cook with gas because to me, if I had an induction hob or ceramic hob, for example, my concern would be, is the hob on? And if my little girl walked past and touched it and I just left it on by accident, for example, I'm not saying she would do that, but if she did, there's a risk there of her burning her hand. Whereas at least with gas, you can either smell it or you can see it.
I don't like
see the flame.
These induction hobs at all, but yeah.
I love my range cooker.
Exactly. Exactly. Give me a range cooker anyway.
It's beautiful. But you can't, with it, so new builds now, you can't even have the option to have gas installed either. It's not an optional extra, which we know they offer a lot of optional extras. It's literally electric, and they're obviously doing solar panels included on some of them.
Solar panels either.
Oh, God, they're so ugly.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, no offence to anyone that's got solar panels, but they're ugly.
I do not like solar panels or the pigeons pooing on them and all that.
Well, pigeons nest behind them as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why a lot of people are having those fencings put around them and stuff. And so, obviously, if we look back at mine and Sam's podcast previously, solar panels obviously actually require maintenance from a cleaning point of view, because if you don't have them cleaned anyway...
I didn't even know that. I was fascinated with that from Sam.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because one of our clients had it done.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, so obviously cleaning them, so if they get dirty, the energy goes anyway. So you're not getting the best performance out of them. So I suppose it's like a car in a service, isn't it? Ultimately.
But not most, but people think the EPC or the energy efficiency is going to be like an A, don't they? But it's not on a new build. They're only ever a B.
Yeah.
You have to have an eco house for an A.
Yeah, so you have to have an eco house. So I think the only way you could probably get it to an A is if you had full electric, all underfloor heating, induction hobs, USB switches and sockets, PV panels as opposed to solar panels integrated into the roof, because they're the ones that run constantly as opposed to solar. They just pick up off natural light as opposed to just direct sunlight, which solar does. And then having a battery to store the energy as well, which, again, you don't get with a new build, nor is an option on most new builds. That may have changed now. But the batteries themselves can cost you anything between £5,000 and £6,000, depending on the size that you want. Yeah.
And, if you've got a good second-hand property, most of them are a C, energy rating C anyway.
Yeah, at worst case scenario, D.
Yeah.
And for what it's going to cost you over the next few years versus what it would cost you to have a battery installed on an older property, on a new property, if you were going to go down that route for energy efficiency, and you really wanted to knuckle down still.
Yeah.
But you still can't add character to the new build. Not enough character as in comparison to an old build. An existing property, should I say.
Yeah. I'm trying. I've been there nearly 5 years now, and I'm on round 2 of renovations, and I'm determined to give more character.
Yeah? Like, what, knocking your wall down?
I don't know.
Buying new builds, you don't need to knock a wall down.
Know.
Here's Tracy.
So, some people don't like new estates, do they? Because they don't like being overlooked, and they don't like to have their neighbours too close. So that's another reason why people go second-hand.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a bit antisocial, maybe they're a bit like privacy, but it is generally kind of, you might know your next door neighbour to say hello to, whereas I know certainly before I bought my house, you would introduce all the new build buyers, wouldn't you? And they were all like, we're never moving, we're friends forever.
Yeah. So when I worked at obviously the house builder, they used to host those events, meet your neighbours before you move in. And some people just wouldn't turn up, mainly because they're probably antisocial. And then others would be like, oh, this is great. And they'd exchange phone numbers and things. I'm thinking, I couldn't think of anything worse than attending one of them events.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have gone even if there were one. But I know that some people at the top of my street, they're all friends for life, aren't they? They'll never, never moving.
Well, they all bake and party and everything together, don't they? Yeah, see, when I lived at my house, obviously, which was a couple of streets away from you, I didn't even really speak to anyone. I was just happy in the corner, out of the way. If I'm putting my bin out and someone says hi to me, I'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
That's about it. I want to wash my car in peace with my music on. I want to sit in my garden with music on or have a whiskey. I just want to be peace.
That's the thing as well, isn't it? If you party, being too close to your next door neighbour on a new build may not be the best option.
I know. Although, having said that, so obviously...
Unless you invite them.
I was never doing that either. No. So obviously I was the corner plot there, so I only had really one neighbour and I wasn't really overlooked either. But then going to the new house, I've obviously gone to the new house now, and believe it or not, I had an argument with the woman over the road the other day because I'd literally just dumped my car on WLs for a couple of minutes while I was offloading some stuff out of the car. And I'd literally just left it there, put some stuff in the house, and then she mouthed off at me and I'm like...
Oh, is she the police?
Yeah, no, it's when she turned around to me and she goes, you don't own the road, you know. I went, no, I know, Cheshire East do.
Does she own the road?
No, but she was painting outside at the time. I thought I'm going to get a can of black spray paint and do that.
Oh dear.
But again, I think if we go back to new versus old and the neighbour situation that you're referring to, while it's quite nice that you meet your neighbours before you move in so you can establish who you may or may not like or who you may or may not want to avoid, when you buy a second-hand property, you don't necessarily meet the neighbours and you move in and you could be there a couple of months before you actually meet them and you're like, oh, I don't like that person. What a weird guy. What a weird lady.
Yeah. But then, I guess you don't need to see them very often.
No, just want to put my bin out.
Yeah. Just make sure you assess the area before you run out with your bin.
Just go around on bin morning just to see who's talking on the street.
I don't know. Another thing though, if you want a larger property, they tend to be kind of on main roads, don't they?
Yeah.
Where I can't live on a main road because I've got 3 cats. So for me, having nothing behind and definitely not a main road is like my first, it's the most important thing. Apart from south, well, no, it's more important than south facing, for God's sake. I can't have my 3
But you are
cats
south facing as well.
I know, but I still don't get the sun after 6 o'clock. It's annoying.
Because it comes around and sets on the west, and you've got your garage out on the side. Yeah,
It's so annoying.
yeah.
It's the only thing I'd change.
See, the back of my house now is absolutely roasting.
I bet.
Honestly, with a bifolds across the back, I'm just like, wow. Yesterday I was sweating.
So hot.
Yeah, yeah. But it's lovely, and the garden's huge.
It is huge, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Going back to your point about being on a main road and things, I suppose I don't look at things like that. I'm not that bothered by stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't go out my way and go, I want a house with a south-facing garden. I'm not that picky. And when people used to come into the office when I worked for new build, they go, it has to be a south-facing property. Why? You live in England. We get about 3 days of sun a year.
Yeah, but I'm a bit of a meerkat.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. But just go abroad. Go sit in a beer garden.
I do.
Exactly. So,
As you always tell me,
Yeah.
too many holidays.
but how much did you actually sit out in the sun last year? Or as opposed to just going out into a beer garden and stuff like that? I bet it was 2 weeks.
Do you know what?
Total, I bet you sat out for
I
2
don't
weeks.
know. I used to love sunbathing in the garden, but maybe we're too busy. Maybe I'm not going in the garden often enough.
I reckon it's your ADHD. Sits there for about 3 minutes, twitches and starts getting, I need to put my washing in.
Probably.
Oh, well, we went off topic there, didn't we?
That's probably true.
Oh, dear.
So, I'm living in a new build. I'm
Yeah.
going to make it look more characterful, make
Yeah.
it look older. You're living in an old property, which has actually got very beautiful modern interiors. Now,
Yeah.
back
And it's about 2,500 square foot.
oh, it's so lovely. So, let's close with you. We know from podcast 1, your dream is to build a house. And you've
Yeah.
already stated many times on this podcast that you like older houses. So tell me how that's going to look.
So, obviously, I do want to buy some land, ideally, end of this year, beginning of next year. My ideal property, for anybody out there that loves the film The Holiday,
I love The Holiday.
oh my God, it's such an amazing film.
I've watched it twice a year.
Honestly, some people look at this and be like, he likes The Holiday. Oh, God.
It's such a good
No,
film.
yeah, it's such a good film. So, that the way that looks,
Pretty little cottage.
pretty little cottage built in like a Cotswold stone.
I reckon that house is about 500 years old.
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't
You've
think
got gas, though.
Yeah, she got gas. I don't think it's a real house either, by the way. I think they made the set up for that, for there. But it's not. I don't necessarily want, like saying before, I don't necessarily want loads of space around me. I'm not bothered if I'm on a main road or anything like that. I just want somewhere where you can go home at night and you can unlock that door and you can close that door, and you think, I'm really happy here, and I feel peace at night. And I think because of everything that's gone over the last sort of 12, 18 or 12 months, I didn't feel that in my house that I've just sold. The house that I've just moved to, I don't necessarily feel that because the layout doesn't massively work for me. I would change a lot in it. So the fact that I want to go away and build my own home in the
Look
right
like
to
Pretty cottage.
yeah, pretty cottage with like a nice archway above the front door.
Like an oak stone porch.
Yeah, oak stone
That'd be nice.
porch. Yeah, and I'm not even bothered. Like, for me, I think we spoke about this yesterday. Actually, I would happily have 2 bedrooms, and I would have it where it's like double fronted, open plan across the back of the house with some bifolding doors and a living space, and then 2 sort of lounges at the front of the house.
Little snug.
Yeah,
log
a couple
burner.
of little snugs, and I would have 1 bedroom running down one side of the house, walk-in wardrobe and a full master ensuite with a freestanding bath and things, and I would do the exact same on the opposite side for my daughter, creating the space for her. Other than that, I actually don't want that much from life in
That
terms
sounds
of that.
nice.
Yeah. So, because
How much does it cost to build a little cottage, Simon?
I had a quote off a friend, a ground worker, and to put a footing in for a 2,000, it was 2,000 square foot property. He was going to charge me cash in hand, $5,500 to do it. Put a full footing in.
Yeah, but that's just the footing.
Yeah.
What about the Cotswold brick?
Well, yeah. At this point, I don't actually care.
How many years will this take?
I'm hoping I can be done by the time I'm 40.
Yeah.
And that's it. Completely mortgage free is where I want to be. Like I said, don't want anything massive. I'm not a greedy person. I just want what I want. Yeah. I need a goal in life, and that's my goal. If I don't have a goal, I've got no drive, I've got no determination, and that's where I want to be.
Cool.
So that's mine. What's your end goal?
So I want a bigger house. That's probably not new, but looks new. For now, I'm going to rip up my carpets, put down wood floors, and put more paneling and make it look older.
I'm confused. Why do you want a bigger house? Abigail will be going soon.
Oh my God.
Get rid of her.
Listen, I've got a man with a lot of records, a lot of gym equipment. My house is bursting at the seams. I need space.
It's me going to a 2-bed, and it's you going, give me a 5-bed.
I would die for a 5-bed house right now. I need a downstairs office. I need space. If you saw how many records are in my house and decks and all sorts of things, you'd literally think the wheels have fallen off.
So, on that then, love to know what everyone's opinions are going forward. Would you prefer to buy something older with character? Or would you rather buy a new build? That's it for episode 4. Stay tuned. Watch out for more.